Welcome to One Funny Morning Show.
From Monday to Friday.
And sometimes on Saturday.
Why would you say that in front of all these people?
You never know what's gonna happen.
Carmen.
Cortez.
Good morning, everybody.
What's outside your weather door?
Good morning.
Uppie.
Happy everybody.
Good morning. I'm Jan Small from Lansing, Michigan, about right there in the mitten. Did you know that Michigan had two peninsulas, the Lower Peninsula, or the mitten, and the Upper Peninsula, which is actually up there. We call the Upper Peninsula the UP. They're connected by a 5-mile bridge. The people that live in the UP are called Yoopers, Yoopers, and they call the people that live in the mitten trolls, because we live underneath the bridge. You're watching One Funny Morning with Dina Blizzard.
What a lovely little geography lesson. I don't know. Oopers and trolls. Listen, we call people in Jersey a lot worse than that. So I think it's very kind what you call each other, although I don't know that I'd want to be a troll. Yeah, Yoopers. What? My dad is from Upper Up. Do you say up or you say UP? UP? I don't know. Yeah, Michigan in the house. Yoopers. It should be uppers. Yoopers? I don't know. I think it's so funny because I didn't realize that Michigan was the mitten. Like, no one outside of Michigan says this, but when you go to Michigan, they all do this. They go, I'm from here. I'm from here. I'm from here. I'm from here. And you're like, I don't know what you're saying. They're like, it's a mitten. I go, okay. Yeah. UP, Upper Peninsula. Oh, Upper Peninsula. UP. Okay. Mm-hmm. All right. Yeah. I love a good history lesson. I know. Look at Jan doing her thing. Instant map. Yeah. Nobody does that with New Jersey. I don't know that there's anybody. I remember at Miss America once, there was a girl. What did she do? The 603. I guess you'll know who you are, but there's an area code called the 603. And she was from whatever state this area code is in. And she was so she, they had already picked the top 10. I don't think she made the top 10. So in commercial break, the girls got to hang out on the stage and like wave to their family. And this girl's like, yeah, doing this gang symbol. I was like, what are you doing? She's like, it's the 603. And I was like, that means nothing. Is it New Hampshire, 603? Listen, that girl, she was like, doing a dance, throwing gang symbols. Mm-hmm. Yeah, she was representing. Mm-hmm. It's very funny. It's here in New Hampshire. Look at all of it. Yeah, gang life. This is New Hampshire gang life. But it was funny. It was a funny day. So I remember that area code. I don't know how many other. And I was like, what? Why is this the 603? She goes, there's the 6, that's the O, and that's the 3. They have a lot of time in New Hampshire. Mm-hmm. You need to come up here. I don't know that I've ever been to New Hampshire. I mean, maybe on tour we did, right? I think I was. You guys will tell me. I don't know. And if I was, then I think I loved it. Because we were up there somewhere at the most amazing theater. Was it New Hampshire? And it was in a cute little town. That probably sounds like most towns. Yeah, no, it's from the 856. Not as cool. Was I in Portsmouth? And I think it was really cool. And the theater was one of the oldest theaters that we had been to. And everybody said, have you been to the bathroom? I don't think I made it to the bathroom. I mean, I probably did, just not the, whatever, music hall. at music hall. And is it really old? Like it had been around since like 17 something. And I remember talking to them about, was I in the 603? Talking to them about audio. And like we were like doing the soundtrack. They're like, you really don't need a lot of audio help in this room. We're like, what are you talking about? They were like, this theater was built in the 1700s. They didn't have audio. Was it the 1800s? They didn't have audio. So it was built to be like the most like what's the word I'm looking for? Like it just has the best sound because acoustically it was made to carry sound because it did what acoustics. That's what I meant, Candace. Wicked old. But I loved that theater. Yeah. So last night, Katie's like, that's my theater. It's beautiful. I would totally go back. What was I saying? Last night, we were doing the supporter giveaway. Okay. So every Monday we do an Ugly Monday giveaway. So we do like a little Tipsy Tuesday. Most of the time I drink whatever, fine. We did the giveaway. I was showing them my bathroom floor, which is like a whole thing, and I'm conflicted. Please stop eating your feet. Hey, that's my mom. Stop it. Booby. So last night's winner, I have to memorize it when I'm on my phone because Stephanie will text me and then I memorize it. Anyway, I knew it was somebody named Michelle, and I knew it was a 3-namer, and I knew that the last name was Open. I knew that there was a third name, but I was like, I'm not gonna remember all these names. I'll just remember Michelle, Oatman, and then there's a name in the middle. And so we're getting ready to go, and I said, well, let me tell you the winner. And I said, it's a 3-namer, right? So all of a sudden they were like, okay, I'm in. All the 3-namers are paying attention. And I said, and the first name is Michelle. Now I'm thinking, narrows it down a lot, right? There she is. There's Michelle. Michelle, you missed the whole thing last night. I don't know if you know, but you're the president of the group. So Michelle wasn't there last night. I see her there now. And I said, Michelle something Oatman. And I said, let's see if she's here. Well, Michelle wasn't there last night. Michelle, good to see you. Congratulations. Well, while we're like waiting to see if Michelle shows up, a bunch of other Michelles are like, hey, Heather. I love seeing all your pictures. I love the house. I want to come visit. All these other Michelles were like, I thought you were going to say my name. And I was like, oh, there's a 3-namer Michelle, but no, your last name's not Open. And then another Michelle was like, oh, I thought it was going to be me. And then I was like, is it you? No, you're not Oatman. Okay. The amount of 3-namer Michelles that are in like our supporter group, very high. I can't even imagine once you get out of the supporter group and get into just do you know how many 3-namer Michelles there are? A lot. So then everybody's like, my middle name is Michelle. Can I be in the group? So I was like, I think these just got together. And they were like, listen, I'm a 3-namer Michelle. Exactly. They were like, listen, we need to stand out. Shakendra got a thing going. Steak Diane got her thing going. The Pacheco sisters got their thing going. We need something. They're like, let's change. I don't even think any of their names are really Michelle. I think they got together and they were like, let's all change our first names to Michelle. Okay. And then we could be in it. And then 2-namers Michelles were like, well, I feel like I should be a part of it. I don't have. And then other people were like, well, my middle name is Michelle. I'm like, well, it's not on here. You might be a 3-namer Michelle. It doesn't say it has to be the first. Either way, at some point, it just devolved into tomorrow. Everybody wants to be in the group. Everybody's going to, you might see it. You might see Michelle Shakendra Tues. You might see Michelle Kezia Lobo Whalen. Everybody, I'm Michelle Dina Marie. Everybody, I know Michelle. That's what I mean. They were like, I watched the girls that were the twins, the Olsen sisters. One of them was named Michelle, and I did watch that show. It's the Michelle chapter. I think there's gonna be a Michelle chapter now. Yeah, I dated a Michelle and my aunt. I'm telling you, I find me a person that doesn't have a Michelle connection. I haven't seen another Trina. Trina, you might be on your own until who knows? Nobody saw it coming. And I was like, who wants to call Michelle Oatman and tell her she's the president? Because she slept through this whole thing. So you have a lot of responsibility, Michelle. We're waiting to hear what you want to do with your group. If you're going to really start a Michelle OFM group, I don't know. Michelle Tracy Lynn, Michelle Diane Kiko. My best friend's name is Michelle. Michelle Leanne, Michelle here. My mom is Michelle. I'm telling you. Michelle's rule the world. And the funny thing is I can't think of another name. My husband's middle name is Michael, which is the male version of Michelle. So I'm Michelle adjacent. I went in. Here's the funny thing is that I never noticed it before. It only happened because of Michelle McGuire Oatman, who's the president. And my mom was going to name me Michelle. Yep. What I'm saying is that, yeah, I know like 50 Michelles, not one single Edna. Where are the Ednas? I don't think we have any Ednas here. But what I'm trying to tell you in the long run is the fact that there is a run on 3 namer Michelles, or just Michelles in general, but specifically 3 namer Michelles. That means that as part of their genetic code, these ladies were like, okay, I will take your name, but with my name. Do you understand me? Like, I don't want to, but I'm gonna. And God forbid you meet a 4 named Michelle. She's gonna be like, I'm gonna take all the names. You will not tell me. I will keep all of them. All the names. So if your middle name is Michelle, if your first name is Michelle, if you dated a Michelle, you identify as Michelle, whatever. Oatman's on top of it. Oatman's like, I didn't even know this happened. I don't know how she feels. You know, sometimes, Michelle, you go to bed early because you had a long day and you wake up the president of a group. And that is just your calling. You know how Harry Potter had a calling? Jesus also had a calling. I'm putting you in that group. Yeah. There's 4 for you. I'm Michelle Marie McGuire Oatman. There it is. Yeah. And that's why you're the president. She goes, I am ready for it. Well, Michelle, it's all you. Let's see. Listen, you went from relative obscurity to the president of the club all while you were sleeping. And that's what happens here. That'll teach Michelle for missing a night. Yeah, had she just shown up, none of this would have happened. But it devolved real quick. Real quick. So, and then I was saying to Dean last night, I was like, it's just so funny because I didn't think that there'd be that many Michelles. He's like, Mom, your sister's name is Michelle. I go, I understand that, but it has to be like a certain, like, was it people born in late 60s to like early 80s? And then I don't know. I don't want to say it wrong. I don't know any like teenage Michelles. You know what I'm saying? Is that a nice way? Her kid in college called. Well, she's responsible. She's going to be a great leader. She's going to be a great leader. So 70 here. Yeah. See, I don't think there's going to be like, I was born in the 1990s and my name is Michelle. I don't think so. Listen, there's like 3 Dinas in the world. There, yeah, 1974, 1970. I don't think you're going to get like much past 84 on a Michelle. Yep. I don't know if you guys are saying the year you were born or you're saying how old you are, but either way, we're all old. Had to be, yeah. Yes, I had to talk to him. Well, now you have to call him back, Michelle, and say, well, because I talked to you last night, I'm the president of my own Facebook chapter called The One Funny Mother Michelle's. Okay? And that is my calling. The year. 1973. Oh, most Nancy's seem to be from the 60s or earlier, 1979. Yeah. Michelle had its heyday. It became popular after the Beatles song, Michelle My Belle. I wonder when that was written. Let me look it up. Michelle My Belle. 1965. There it is. Yeah. Jim's Michelle was 1960. Sharon, how are you keeping track of all Jim's ex-girlfriends and what year they were born? Sharon's like, oh, I took them all out. I looked them all up. I have their birth dates, I have their blood types, and I threatened them. Look at Sharon. They named me on the way to the hospital. Oh my gosh, Nicole, he's so crazy. I'm Martha from biblical times. Yeah, way before Sharon. Or did she take care of her? 1965. President of my own fan club. That's Michelle. She had no idea. She was just talking to her son, went to bed. Woke up a president. I wish that would happen to me. So funny. Yeah. There are not any young Annettes. No, I can't imagine that there would be a lot of them. I think it's a pretty name. I feel like the Annette, are we listing birth years? This is depressing. No, it's just like if your name was Michelle, because it does seem like a specific time frame. I feel like the Annettes were popular, like Annette Funicello, right? I got to the name before she chose it. It took my mom 3 days to name me. I haven't met anyone with my name, Tiara. Me neither. My dad went to school with Annette Funicello. Yeah, well, I think it's funny. I got really confused very quick. Oh, Michelle Dawn Mooney. Michelle, you're a three-namer, Michelle. You're in the fan club. You better reach out to Oatman. She's like, what's happening? There's a fan club? There's a three-namer Michelle fan club. And you are absolutely, and if you have a three-namer, but you can also be Michelle adjacent, which is what I think is going to happen. I don't know what you guys are going to do in your fan club, but we should at least have some shirts made. I don't know. There's only one Donna. Yeah. Not many Monicas. Well, I feel like Monica got like a push when Friends came out. I'm just seeing the banana picture. Marsha, it's the best. Jim's Michelle became a BFF of mine. Instead of killing her, you brought her into your circle? Girl. Wait. Sharon, were you friends with her while she was dating Jim and then you stole her? I bet that's what you did because you have like Farrah Fawcett hair. I could see it. Yeah. No, there are not a lot of Lyns. Many barbers born in the 50s. Yeah, you don't see. Did you see the banana comments on your page? I don't know. You mean under Joe? Oh, no, I don't. I mean, I posted it, but I didn't look. Let me see. Hold on. I posted the banana picture of Joey Joe yesterday. It just tickled me. I can't imagine if people like go through it's just genius. It's just genius. Did you see it? It's just, if you missed it, it's just, did you want, you didn't come, so I moved your chair and you can come up. Come on. Okay. Remember what I said about losing some weight? Come on. Come on. She said, girl, lift your leg. What? I can't do everything. Come on. Let's do it. Come on. Good girl. Come on. Ooh. You want to give me the leg and I'll bring it up. Okay, this is uncomfortable. Give me it. Okay, I can't help you. Come on, let's do it. Come on, you're a big girl. Okay, she did it. You're not fat. Okay. There are a couple Julies here. Okay, she said, why you say this in front of everybody about my weight all the time? What? I thought it's your son. No, Sama, that's Joey Joe. He's just here. He's a friend of ours. Yeah, no. I'm telling you, to go to the store to take a real picture. Yeah, that's true. I did steal him. She's a great girl, but I was more perfect for Jim. We stayed friends. It's all good. Oh, Sharon, she hates you. Oh, you stole Jim? Oh, all of a sudden, Sharon Wagner got 10 times cooler. What? Wow, Sharon. Here's Sharon like this with her hair. Hi, Jim. And that was it. That's a large population of Kims. Kims will always be popular. Right, Lulu? I think Lulu as a dog name is pretty popular. Did you know that? Okay, she's not ready to talk. Okay. Hubby equals Jerry and his cousin equals Tom. I don't know what that means. No, there's not a lot of Shelleys. But you would be a version of Michelle. Are you a Michelle Shelley? And then you just... And it's so funny because, I mean, I guess it could be that. Right? Like, I would never call Michelle Mooney Shelley. That would be weird. Every Kim I ever knew was mean. School supplies 2 years ago. Oh yeah, Sama. That's me. That's me. Everyone thinks my full name is Michelle, but it's not. Oh, just a whole thing. I'm a Michelle and I'm nicknamed Shelly. See, I didn't even count those Michelles. So I went through. There are 32 Michelles on the supporter side in different capacities. Michaela is a German version of Michelle. I go by Michelle because nobody here can pronounce Michaela. Michaela, that's a beautiful name. And you should make people know it. I'd be like, do you understand letters? They're not in the form that you're saying. Okay. We're done now. Lulu's like, time to turn around. I want to look at birds. Okay. This is a great show. When one of the co-hosts face the opposite direction. Caroline, and always people mix it up with Carolyn. Well, how do you say that? Because that's what I would have done. Athena used to be rare. Lots more out there now, especially as dog names. The way you pronounce it is the Hispanic version. Germans pronounce it different. Michaela? Tell me how, because I said Michaela. No, there's no more Eileens. Alejandra used to hate my name because people couldn't pronounce it. What? It's so beautiful. There's a lot of Jodys. It's good to know that there's a nice one or two. I've met a lot of Kims that I like. I find most Kims to be super fun. Isn't it funny how like you get a certain idea of a person? Yeah, Nicole, you got that extra H in there too. That a certain names kind of give you like a certain vibe. Oh, I had a crush on a guy named Alec when I was like 12. And to me, like, oh, he probably wasn't even that cute, but it was probably the first boy that even paid. You know why he liked me? Let me tell you why Alec liked me. Okay, because I was 12. So there weren't a lot of great attributes. But when we were younger, my parents used to, Alec with a C. Alec. Like Baldwin, but not. Okay. My mom used to take us to this one arcade all the time, drop us off, because she was not a good mom. No, she probably went to dinner, same thing. She'd drop us off and we would hang out at the arcade for hours. And then Yura, it's a beautiful name. I was really good at the crane. That arcade game, the crane, that. I think that's why he was into me. And when I say into me, I think it's because he thought I could win him a stuffed animal. Because my grandmom raised me, exactly. What's the topic today? Yes, Carol, all the topics. I couldn't stand a girl named Anna, so I didn't like the name. I ended up naming my daughter Anna because there's a bittersweet story behind it. Oh, Kim, you got to tell us the story. It's so funny, but like certain names just give you like a certain image. You know what I mean? Yeah. I thought all those are rigged. Unless you got the gift, Shakendra. I had the gift. I don't know why. It was like, Alex sounds like you're not fully saying the word Alex. No, you're right. It does sound like that, but that was his name. And he was so handsome, but probably not. Did you ever just look at pictures of like guys that you thought were cute or girls you thought you were cute when you were younger and you were like, what was I thinking? Because it's just so funny. Like, like I did my dating, like I met Jim by the time I was 22 to 23. So I started dating 16 to 22. Like I had like that time. And now dating now, could you imagine if the same stuff that was important to you then was important to you now? Do you know what I'm talking about? Like back then, oh, is he real good at sports? I'm like, sports? Guys I'm dating are 50 plus. I'm like, how's your feet? Do they swell up at night? What? I don't even want you to play sports. I want you to do some gentle rowing. That's it. Don't break anything. Don't go crazy. You know what I'm saying? Like the stuff that you thought was like real cool. Yeah, Todd, 6th grade. Yeah, you're just like, come on. What was I thinking? Why was I into Todd? Yeah, no. And he'd be like, oh, he has such a nice car. You know what I see when somebody got a really nice car? I'm like, what is your car payment per month? Because if it's real high, we probably won't be able to go out to dinner very often. I like to go to dinner. I can't. Oh, what if they had a motorcycle? Yeah, they'll be like, oh, yeah. Oh, they got a motorcycle. I was like, this body doesn't ride motor. I mean, maybe it does, but I don't know. But you got a good job. You got a pension. What about IRA? What? It's just funny. Yeah, look for looks, personality, popularity. I never would have dated my husband in high school. My 8-year-old has a crush on a kid for a few years. Funny, he looks similar to a kid I had a crush on at that age. That's funny. My mom was Irish. My dad was Scottish. Grandmother's maiden name was Margaret Ann Wilson. So I ended up being named after her. So many Margarets out there. Yeah. Can you climb a mountain? Listen, I only went out for the first time with my late husband because I was scared of saying no. So I thought I'm throw him a bone and boom, married him. What was that? What's going on? Yeah. Can you wash dishes? I rode a motorcycle once. Oh, girl, let me tell you about the boy in college. I'm sitting here thinking now what I see in all the men I was interested in, and now I'm happy being single at the moment. Yeah. Can you dust? I dated, I don't want to get into it. I don't want to get too much into it, but I did date a motorcycle guy. And It was everything you think it would be. When I was in high school, yeah, that would have been weird. Why you make him sing that? I actually did date my husband in high school. And then you didn't get together, Kitty Cotton? Kitty Cotton Storms. God, what a good name. I dated a guy with a motorcycle, but dumped him in the fall when I didn't like his car. Met my husband when I was 40. We are still together, said Annette. My daughter's boyfriend is real tall, and she's not. I think she realized that he can reach the top shelf. Well, listen, and that's important to you when you're that age. Once we had, yeah. I dated a fireman and drove a motorcycle. Didn't we all? Or really one too. My husband was my boss 23 years ago. My husband and I would not have dated in high school. My prom date had a motorcycle, but we used my parents' car for the prom. Jim and I both have motorcycles. I got a motorcycle license before a car license. What is happening? Am I dating Sharon now? Because I feel like I have learned so much about Sharon just today. Does anybody else feel that way? Now I'm picturing Sharon on a motorcycle stealing men from all over the area, from the clutches of their women. She was like, you're mine. Get on the motorcycle. And then she'd drive off with your boyfriend. I am going to keep my lovers away from Sharon. That's what I've learned today. I don't like motorcycles. I think they're too dangerous, but I told him if he wanted one that was fine, he would just have to look for a new fiance. He chose wisely, said Michelle Dawn Mooney, 3-namer Michelle. Oh, she's sharing a lot today. I fell in love with my husband because he was 21 and he could buy wine. Yeah, Sharon's gone up a couple notches. I don't know who this is. Yeah, I don't know. I would like to see a meme of this, Jody. Yeah, who knew? You got to put her on a bike with like a leather jacket with like a creepy like gang name on the back, and Jim just being stolen. I dated a guy who ended up being gay. I just thought he was a good dresser. See, you got to watch. It's a fine line. It's a fine line. Too good of a dresser. There you go. Yeah. It's just no, it's just lemon juice, Lisa. Athena says that I have to start using real lemons, but I think Athena thinks I have a lot more time than I do. Oh, I was in love with a gorgeous boy named Mark. He's still beautiful at 56. He's just not mine. I'm just trying to lift my arms after getting a double vaccination yesterday, said Judy. Judy, keep your arms down. Don't do a lot of work. I wish I could just go through a whole day and just not use my arms. I started dating my husband when he was 13 and I was 15 and we're still together. What? That's beautiful. Those are beautiful stories. I love those stories, but I also love the stories when you hear people will say like, we met in high school. It wasn't the right time. We both went out, married other people, maybe whether widowed or divorced. We come back together 25 years later. We've been together ever since. It's so beautiful. That's nice. I married my husband because he seemed responsible, did all the housework and paid the bills. Longer I'm with him, the less he did, working on getting him back to doing things. Oh, girl, I hear that. My parents have been together 50 years. Isn't that crazy? Isn't that crazy? Yeah. So fun. So fun. But it's funny to like look back and be like, why did I date that person? What was it that I liked about that person? Kezia, I've known my husband since I was 8 and he was 10. We started dating at 17 and been married for 30 years. Oh, I heard my first boyfriend is now a widow. I have to admit that I've wondered what he's like now. Alejandra, you gotta call. see what he doing. What? Met my husband from a roommate. He answered, and have been married for 23 years now. Yeah. Is it Sayer? Is that how you say it? Sayer? I got my first Social Security check today. Whoop, whoop. I'm old. I've never heard somebody so excited. Wow. That's really lovely. All these lovely marriage stories or rekindling of lost loves. My husband on a blind date, engaged 6 weeks later, married a year after that, just over 20 years married. What? In college, I dated a drummer, a cook, and a clean freak. If I could have made a perfect man out of all of them, but I married a man who is none of the above. I dated a now boyfriend back in college 26 years ago. We went off and had our own lives, both got divorced and re-met on a dating app, and we're now together again. What? Wow. So crazy. When I asked him to a Christmas party 30 years ago. Met my husband on a CB radio. We have been together for 30 years. It's so funny. What was I? So I had this gig this past weekend. It was not an easy gig, but I had a gig. And there's a trucker in the front, right? This older fellow, lovely guy, but he looked like a trucker. He sounded like a trucker, but he's retired. He's an older guy. And I met my husband on eHarmony, love at first sight, married 1.5 years later, together 18 years. Oh, Linda. Met online, moved in 6 weeks later-ish, engaged by Christmas, married the following September, together for 11 years. Hung out with my husband and a group of friends for 6 years at a campground. We started dating, been married 3 years now. Oh. 26 years ago, I started dating my husband. He was a senior in high school. I was a junior, now married 21 years. I met my husband at a Def Leppard concert when I was 15. Met my husband on a dating app, married in 3 months. You married him in 3 months? Going on 23 years, dated, then paused for 2 years, then got engaged New Year's Eve 2000. The rest is history. We're together for a year, then reunited 10 years later and been together for 32 years. He had his first year's girlfriend when he was 15 and she was 13. They dated and then went their separate ways. They married other people, had 20 years. They got back together and got married. What? Met my husband at a pizza shop. He asked for my number. I said, it's in the phone book, which is now non-existent. I only told him my first name, but he was a good detective and 35 years married now. What? Met my husband. I was renting a house he bought. We started dating, got married, and moved back in the house, 28 years married. Oh. Met when I was babysitting for my sister, married 3 months later for 42 years. Wow. That's amazing. So anyway, I'm talking to this trucker, and he was an older guy. He was so funny. No matter what I said, he would just cover his face like this. He was very funny. And I said, I go, well, what's your handle? And he was like, what? I go, your handle. You said you were a trucker for a long time. So like, what was your handle? Like your CB handle. He was like, I used a phone. I said, but you had to have a CB to talk to the people like while you're driving. I used a phone. Do you know what this is? I go, did you ask me if I knew what the phone was? I was like, he just kept saying it. He goes, I used you know what Nextel is? I go, first of all, no one uses Nextel. That's number one. Okay. Number two, you had to have a handle. I like yelling at people and pretending I know things I don't. Maybe they don't use CBs anymore, but I think they do. I think he's just real old. Yeah, we engaged at 2 months, married exactly 3 months. Our 5-year anniversary is next year. We're still newlyweds. Can't get enough of each other. Oh, Michelle's in the house. I met my husband at a Halloween party where he was set up with my roommate. He liked me better. It was 1985. We married in 86, still together. Oh, you taking a page from the Sharon book. I was on a horrible blind date when I met my husband. He and his friends saved me from a nightmare of a date. Started dating him and life is great. Married 10 years. Oh, we dated and married when I turned 20. We were married 59 years. For 59 years. Sadly, he passed away 2 years ago. Oh, Jenny, what a beautiful story. Except for the end part. But it's really a beautiful story. Is the best out all truckers, especially if they cross the borders. Is Nextel, it's just is it phones or is it CB? Breaker 19, that's what I'm saying. Bus drivers use radio, illegal to use phones. My husband in 5th grade never talked all through. Our moms fixed us up 26 years ago. Wow. I met my husband at a Catholic divorce class. Shut up. Was dating my husband's roommate and we started dating shortly after I met him, been together 38 years. What? Met my husband 41 years ago. I was on a date with his best friend. What? I forgot to mention I dated my husband's best friend for look at all the skanks. What? I'm kidding. I'm not. I'm kidding. Yeah. So fun. I only know CBs because my car was so junky when I was little, and our piano lessons were so far away. And eventually, my mom's like, "I'm not taking you anymore." So she gave us a car that barely ran and a CB, and we're like, "Good luck." And so many times I would get stuck on the side of the road with a CB. And my dad's like, "Don't tell people where you are, but you do have to contact the police and tell them where you are." I go, Do you see how hard that might be? In the middle of the Wharton State farce. And he caught the garter and they were both there with other people. They've been married for 31 years. She caught the bouquet. He caught the garter. Then he went up her dress and then they dumped the people they were with. Oh, what a great story. Met my husband in a bar. He was in the band. He went home and told his mom he was going to marry the girl he met tonight. 6 months. Dated 6 months, married 35 years. Kim, what a beautiful story. He passed away 6 weeks ago. I'm so sorry. These are beautiful stories. On a blind date, I was supposed to be married to someone. Lori, met my husband on a blind date on the day I was supposed to be married to somebody else and I had called it off. Lori, why did you call it off? How did you know? And then you were on a blind date on your almost wedding day and met your husband. I met my husband while out with my other boyfriend. I broke up with my boyfriend 7 years the next day. What? Man, these stories. But love will win. Or skanks will win. One of the two. Wow. My parents didn't like my fiance. They offered us money if we just eloped. Found out he was way too much of a mama's boy, said Lori. Lori, good for you for just like listening to your gut and being like, this is a horrible idea. Let me go out with somebody else, marry him. He was going to ask me to prom. He was in his truck with another girl. By end of summer, we went on our first date on his motorcycle, and here we are 30 years later. Wow. Such interesting stories. Wow. You just never know. You just never know. Such good stories. Made me think of the Teddy Bear song by Red Sylvan. Let's do it with a Kleenex. I got nothing to contribute. I'm just listening and reading. Listen, not all of us can have these crazy stories. You think you know people. Yeah. I met on fly pop off the boat from Turkey. Mom on a visa from neither spoke English, but met and fell in love. Met my husband on a blind date in Central Park, got engaged 6 months later, married 29 years. This is better than telenovelas. What? It is. Wow. That's so crazy. We all old. Ah, they're beautiful stories. If it's meant to be, it's meant to be. That's what they say. Who's they? Nobody knows. Anyway, well, there you go. Hopefully I showed a little dose of love and meet cutes. We wanted to make sure. Off of met my husband, waited over 4 years. Oh, that was nice. This is like, I'm boring. Are blind dates a thing? Do dating apps count as blind dates? I think so, because I feel like that the pictures that people put on a dating app may not match what you show up and see. So I was dating my husband in high school, broke up after high school. He moved away. I got engaged and found out, and he told me not to marry him and marry him. Oh, he found out you were engaged to somebody else. And then he came like in a John Cusack movie and came over and like stood in the door, was like, don't marry him. You will marry me. Sharon got real quiet. Sharon knows. We got a peek behind the curtain on a Sharon Wagner today. She's like, I think I've revealed too much of how awesome I am. I should have kept it under wraps. I just seemed like a nice lady because I kept making cookies. But I think they know that I'm a biker chick and that I'm saucy. Met my first husband on a blind date, lasted 22 years. Met my second husband on eHarmony, 13 and growing strong. Second time around is the best. I picked the quirkiest guy on Match.com. We've been together for 11 years. Met my first husband at church, divorce after 4 years. Met my current husband at a dive bar, married 38 years. Listen, I had no idea that church divorce class was like ripe for dating. Wow. He came over with flowers and a box of candy. Oh. Yeah, Jim started it by talking about that's all. Apparently, that's a trigger word. The word Michelle is a trigger word for Sharon. She heard Jim talk about Michelle. She said, oh, you want to talk about Michelle? Why don't you tell them how I stole you from Michelle on my motorcycle and my bikini? I added that part. I need to find myself one of these church divorce classes, said Katie. Saucy Sharon. And there it is. She has a name. Sharon just said Michelle is a trigger word for me. On her wedding day, she got cold feet and stood him up at the altar. She cheated on him with a blind date and married him. She was married to him for 30-something until he died 2 years ago. What? But my boyfriend does. Wow. The Saucy Sharon chapter. I have a friend who leads the church divorce class. I feel like she's slipping on her friend responsibilities. Exactly. Shakendra. Yeah, Shakendra, you should just go to the divorce class. And when people are like, so tell us about your divorce, you'd be like, well, I'm not divorced yet, but that's why I'm here, to find someone and then leave divorce on the table. Obviously not the goal. Exactly. Like, you need to show up to divorce class and be like, now let me ask you something. You got to definitely be divorced to be in this class? Is that what you're saying? Because I feel like that's wrong. Crazy. Everybody's thinking about this story. They're like, wow, I just met my dumb husband at the bar one night. Nobody wants to hear that story. Oh, so funny. Is it, you think it's wrong to lie about being married to get into the divorce class in Jesus's house? Is that wrong? I feel like, knew my husband forever. He is one of my best friend's brothers. She married my brother. Husband and I hooked up a few times as teenagers, and the 17-year-old after my brother and his sister were married, we got married. I don't think yeah, divorce class just became singles class. Oh, I know about a priest that was like offering condolences and then ended up hooking up with the lady. Maybe Dean's video is not so off. I never heard of a divorce class. Me neither. But I'd like to join it. Yeah. All of a sudden, all the divorce classes are going to be filled up. They'll be like, we don't know what happened. We had to add 3 more divorce classes to our church roster because all of a sudden, all these ladies started showing up with popcorn and bikers. They're all in biker shirts. The only interesting story Kezia has, I have my sister and I married brothers. So she was also my sister-in-law, but now they're divorced. So she's back to just being my sister, I think. That's crazy. The priest that was supposed to marry me left the church for a woman. Is that weird? So now, Kezia, if you both married brothers, so now when you get together for like holidays, which side can they be in the room together without killing each other like that? Met my husband online, 33, to find out we worked in the same building, a wall separating for us for 15 years earlier, married after 3 months. Wow. My grandma and her sister married brothers. They had a total of 16 kids and all got divorced. So those kids had to be more like siblings. They had 16 kids and all got divorced. They had to be more like siblings than cousins. My brother saw a girl at Naughty Berry's farm and said, I'm going to marry her. 33 years later, they're still married. My aunt married her dead sister's husband. All the kids are siblings and cousins. Wow. That's nice, Kezia. Kezia said they're all friends. The priest that married my parents left the priesthood and married a parishioner. They call them sister and brother cousins because they share a lot of DNA. My parents met, I think they met at a bar, but they also went to high school together. But they had at the time split session classes. There were so many kids. So like my dad was in like the blue, which blue might go to school from 7 to 2. And then the red would go from like 2 to 7. That's how they did it. Instead of building more schools, they were like, we're just going to double up. So they went to the same high school, but they didn't really. I'm my own grandpa. My mom's sister married my dad's brother. Yeah, that's good. Was a left and then married his secretary. We had feelings that something was up running to him, but I didn't know. I was like, hi, father. And he was like, nope, here's my wife. Yeah, they were in cohorts before cohorts were yeah. So crazy. Was arrested for flashing a cop. I should have known my marriage wasn't going to survive. The priest of marriage was drunk the day of our wedding. The servers were dying laughing behind his back, waiting for us to smell it. My dad's sister married my mom's brother. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so they never met in high school, but they figured out later that they knew each other. Always tried to talk my parents into me, but they were. My parents met at work a few years later, not realizing that they were the ones that my grandmom and her friends were trying to say, I guess it was meant to be. It's going to be a priest. They've now been married for 50 years. Wow. So beautiful. Such beautiful stories. You guys is. All right, listen, we got to go. What a nice day today talking about love. So listen, I hope that you have some beautiful story, whether it's meeting the love of your life or meeting great friends. I mean, I think the same thing can be said about great women friends. Like, listen, if you ask best neighbor Chris how we met, she got a whole story. She'll be like, sit down, let me tell you a story. How do you know my man? Now, we live next to each other, but there was a whole thing that happened. And she's like, oh, let me tell it. We're like an old couple. Let me tell it. And I go, okay, she's going to tell it. She likes to tell it, and then I add stuff at the end. So it is very fun. Hopefully you have a beautiful story of someone in your life. Same friends since middle school. Yeah. Pass on or to get today in heaven, said Jody Ann. It's your parents' 70th, but it's in heaven. Mm-hmm. And we learned that church divorce class is the way to meet people. Fair enough. So that's it, everybody. I hope you have a great day. Like Judy says, do something nice for yourself or for others today. Tonight is Tipsy Tuesday. Who knows what we're going to talk about? We'll see how my day goes. You just never know. But have a great day and a blessed day. For those of you joining us tonight, we'll see you at 9. If not, we'll see you tomorrow morning and we'll go from there. All right. Thanks for watching, everybody. Have a good one. I'll see you. Bye.
Hey guys, if you enjoyed today's morning show, make sure to follow us for more One Funny Mother content.
Okay, all right. Morse code is tapping.
And check out OneFunnyMotherStore.com for great new inappropriate swag. And for more exclusive content, consider becoming a supporter.
She got a bad leg.
Thanks again, and we'll see you tomorrow on One Funny Morning.